guest. Her name is Kristin Simon, and she is here from the East Central Iowa Council of Governments.
She got that.
Finally got it right.
People don't do that very often.
And she has a great book that she's going to read and a fun activity. So, if we could give her a wonderful Coralville welcome.
Thank you. Wow.
Let's respect Ms. Simon and make sure our voices are off unless she's asking us a question, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, boys and girls.
Good afternoon.
That was pretty good. Let's try it again. Good afternoon, boys and girls.
Good afternoon.
I like that. My name is Kristin, and I am a garbage lady. I have come to your library, this is my 11th year, to talk about garbage and recycling. And I have to tell you, when I heard the theme for this summer's program, Fizz, Boom, Read, this thing came into my brain. It was brilliant. However, a lot of people didn't think it was so brilliant because I am reading the book, Walter the Farting Dog. For the adults, I would like you to know that this is an award-winning series. Okay? For the children, I want you to listen very carefully to me because I want you to understand when you go home, it would be impolite and rude and unacceptable to most of your parents if you go around saying something like fart, 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 fart. Okay? So don't do that. All right? However, in order for you to be healthy, every human being must fart. We all do it. As a matter of fact, I had to do research on this topic for this program, and I can tell you that science tells us that every single person in the world farts between 8 and 20 times per day. And children don't do it as much as us old people, or we old people, I guess would be the correct grammar. Okay? Now, I usually read the book, do the lesson, have the activity. But as hard as I tried to get this to explain this, I can't quite do it by reading the book first this time. So we are going to do something a little bit different. I am going to do half of the lesson, then we're going to read the book, then I'm going to finish up the lesson, and then we are going to play the games. Okay? We have a little gas-related obstacle course here because we are going to be talking about gas. Now you know there's 3 states of matter in the world: solids, liquids, and gases, right? Now, do you understand that? That this here is gas? Right? Okay, so we're going to talk about gas. But first, because I'm a garbage lady, we have to use my garbage truck first. All right? So when you guys want to get rid of something or dispose of something, what are some of the options you can use to get rid of what you don't want anymore? Sir, your hand was up first. Stuff you don't want. What could you do with it? You could give it to someone else and they would reuse what you are no longer using. That's very good, and I'll give you a high five from up here because I'm not going to crawl everybody to give you a fist bump, okay? Okay, what would you do?
Reduce and recycle and...
Absolutely. Reduce, reuse, and recycle in that order. It's the law. It is. It's actually a law. Yes?
I don't know anything about garbage. I guess you can tell me something.
Oh, we have a story, and what would that be? What do you want to tell me? Okay, you think about that. Do we have any other options of how we would want to dispose of something?
Make it into something else.
You could make it into something else. That's a brilliant idea. I will give you a fist bump, and I think I forgot to give you a fist bump. And what would you do?
We could throw it into like a trash can and the dump trucks would pick it up.
Ah, that's almost 100% correct. I'm going to give you a half of a fist bump. We throw it into the garbage can and the garbage truck picks it up, not the dump truck.
I mean,
Right? Yes, yes. See, you put your garbage into the garbage truck and then it comes around once a week. It dumps your garbage into the garbage truck. Very important, you put the garbage cans back so Dad can use them next week. And then we close this and our truck drives where to take our garbage? Yes, ma'am. Oh, that word hurts. Is there another word that we could use that would be what?
Landfill.
The landfill. Now, young lady, you're not wrong. Because a lot of the adults around still use the word dump. But I have to tell you, dump and landfill are two different things. A dump is when you go over here and you dig a hole in the ground and you put your garbage into it and then you bury it. A landfill, guys, is a compound word. Okay, those of you that have been in 2nd or 3rd grade, you know what compound words are, right? It's two words that mean something, and when you put them together, you kind of combine their meanings, right? So landfill. So we have land here, and what are we doing with it? With?
Garbage.
Exactly. So I want to tell you how we build landfills and why it's different than a dump, okay? Because a dump is just digging a hole in the ground, putting your, or throwing it on top of the ground too. Could be an illegal dump. So we start a landfill by digging a hole in the ground. Now I brought a miniature landfill. Oh, her head's in the garbage. With me. So we're going to dig a hole, and we dig holes in the soil, in the ground, in the earth, whatever word you want to use, right? And once we get that hole dug, I'm doing this little survey. I have to keep myself entertained when I do 38 of these in 6 weeks. Who here has actually seen a mom or a grandma make a homemade pie crust? What did grandma or mom have to do to make that pie crust? You don't know? Well, of course she had to put ingredients, and then she put it on the counter, and what did she do? She rolled it out, right? She used a rolling pin. Well, we have a big tractor with a big rolling pin on the front of it that's really heavy. And it rolls this nice and smooth. Okay? Then the next thing we put in our landfill, you notice we're building a landfill. We're not just digging a hole. A landfill is a constructed facility. We put some clay on top. Can anybody tell me what clay is and where we get it from? Your hand was up first again, sir.
We get it from underground.
Exactly.
And it makes different stuff.
It does. Has anybody ever used clay, not Play-Doh, but clay in art class? Okay, now I want everybody to go like this. Woo, woo. You know what? Iowa has some primo clay. Really good clay. Really good. And we put 3 feet of clay into our hole for our landfill. Now, I know exactly what 3 feet is. If I hold my head straight like this, and I put my finger here, and I go like this, that's exactly 1 yard. 3 feet. Do you know how I know that? I sew. And I buy material by the yard, which 1 yard is 3 feet. So if I go like this, and I go like, and I gotta keep my head straight though, and I go like this, when I get up to check out my fabric, I'm within 1 inch, usually, of being exactly what they measure. So we put 3 feet or 1 yard of clay into our hole this way. And then we pound it down and we smash it down as tight as we can get it. So I'm going to put the clay in here, and I'm going to rolling pin, rolling pin. Okay? Now, here's maybe what you don't know about clay. Clay is the smallest particle size of soil. That means did you know that? Good for you. So here's the deal. When we smash that clay down really hard, all those small pieces get shoved together. And when they get shoved together so tightly, water won't go through it. And the fancy word for meaning water won't go through it is called impermeable. Clay is a naturally impermeable substance when you pound it down or compact it. Now the next layer we put in here is a sheet of black plastic. And it is not flimsy like this. It's a rigid piece of black plastic that we glue together with a hot glue gun. It's a big hot glue gun. I couldn't handle it by myself, but we glue it together with a hot glue gun. So, right now, out in the middle of a field, we've dug in the ground and we've made a big plastic bowl. What happens what comes out of the sky occasionally, the other night? Yeah, what happens when the rain comes down and ends up in that plastic bowl? Gross? Well, when we get garbage in there, that's when it really starts getting gross. But it could get gross, yes. What happens? Have you ever had a bowl out on your deck and have it rain? Like for your dog or your cat to give them water? What happens when it rains too much? Yes. It gets full. Now, I hope it never rains so much that our landfill gets full and overflows, but we have to put pipes in the bottom of the landfill because water always goes to the bottom of the bowl first. We put pipes in the bottom of the landfill to collect any of that rain or any of the liquid that comes off your waste. Now, boys and girls, this might be hard for you to understand, but let's say it's raining. And this raindrop falls right here. That's water. But this raindrop right next to it falls here and rolls this way. That's garbage juice or leachate, whether there's any garbage in here or not. By law, we have to suck it up through the pipe. We have a motor that does this. I don't volunteer to suck up the garbage juice. Nobody would volunteer for that, okay? Nobody would even take money, get paid to do that, okay? Now, the reason we all do all this is if this is in the ground, what's far deep under the ground that we want to keep nice and clean? Because we drink it.
Water.
Exactly.
Drinking water.
So the whole reason we construct a landfill is that so no garbage juice can go through the plastic, because plastic, if there's no holes in the seams where we glued it together, is impermeable. The clay is impermeable. It won't go down here and get our drinking water dirty so that we end up drinking garbage juice. Okay? That's the whole reason we build a landfill. Now, some of you adults back there will think this is a piece of old polyester pantsuit. But really, it's the filtering layer, which is sand, or in your case, and several other landfills in our region, shredded up tires. We remember that, right? From a couple years ago? Got it. Now, our landfill, and we have this layer of shredded up tires or sand so that the holes in our pipes don't get clogged up with garbage, because that would be unfortunate if we had to dig all the garbage back out and clean the pipes out at the bottom of the landfill. We don't want that to happen. So now we're ready for our garbage to go into the landfill. Okay? All right, now we're going to read our book. And our book is called Walter the Farting Dog Goes on a Cruise. And it's written by William Coswinkle, Glenn Murray, and Elizabeth Gundy. Can everybody see the pictures up on the wall? If you can't, please move now so you can see the pictures. I want everybody sitting crisscross applesauce. I want your back straight. I want your head up, and I want you to take a deep breath very slowly in and let it out very slowly. Deep breath in and let it out. Okay, now we're ready to listen, right? That deep breath was to get oxygen to your brain so that you can listen better. I find that works actually with the kids. Just kind of. All right. Walter the farting dog goes on a cruise. I'm doing this the wrong-handed, I guess. I didn't realize that until I just got right here, right now. For everyone who's ever felt misjudged or misunderstood. Look at the size of that ship, said Billy. It's as high as a 23-story building, said Father. It has everything in it, even a shopping mall, said Mother. And 5 swimming pools, said Betty. Walter, quietly. Welcome aboard, said the cruise director. What a nice dog, said Pet Officer Smedley. The ship pulled away from the dock. The horn sounded, whoo, whoo, and Walter. All of our animal friends stay down here in the Pet Palace, said Pet Officer Smedley. We do our best to make them completely comfortable. Walter sniffed around the fancy room. I'm off for my first round of golf, said Father. I'm off for my massage, said Mother. We're off to swim in all 5 of those pools, said Billy. Don't worry, Walter, added Betty. We'll be back in a little while.
Wow.
Walter settled down on a plush cushion. Not bad, he said to himself, and he... As soon as the door to the Pet Palace closed, trouble started brewing. Dogs began to growl, cats began to hiss, and birds began to squawk, squawk. Why? Walter was... Walk! Get that stinker out of here, said the parrot from the corner. Pet Officer Smedley returned with some pet treats and was instantly enveloped in a cloud. This smells like an emergency to me, he said, and he opened all the vents. On the golf course, Father was lining up a putt when he noticed a familiar smell. What's that horrible odor? Said one of the other golfers. I guess it must be the fresh sea air, said Father. But Father knew it wasn't the fresh sea air because he saw Pet Officer Smedley walking towards him. We've got a problem with that dog of yours, said Smedley. Father, Mother, Betty, and Billy were all led back to the Pet Palace. Walk! Fart alert! Fart alert! Said the parrot. We're going to have to put Walter in quarantine, said Smedley. Oh no, thought Walter. Walk! Lower the lifeboats! Lower the lifeboats! Women and parrots first! Squawked the parrot. They decided to put Walter in a room where they stored the smelly cheeses. Don't worry, Walter, Billy said. We won't be far away. We'll visit you a whole lot, said Betty as she closed the door. Fair enough, thought Walter, and quietly... Among the stinky cheeses, there was a big wheel of cheese that called to Walter. It said, Walter, eat me. Walter, you know you want to have some cheese, eat me. Walter said to himself, I shouldn't eat that. It doesn't belong to me. I shouldn't eat it. I know I shouldn't eat it. Yet here we are, together, me and the cheese. Perhaps if I just take one little light lick, no one would notice. So Walter stuck out his tongue and he lightly licked the cheese. And then he ate the whole thing. It's kind of how I am with chocolate. I'm just going to have one little piece and then I eat the whole candy bar. even though Walter was tucked deep away into the belly of the ship, his slithered out from under the door, slithered up the hallways and up the stairs, and by the next morning, all 6 dining rooms were filled with the passengers were angry and said, "This ship stinks. We want our money back." "Ladies and gentlemen, please be patient," said the cruise director. "We're having a little problem with our ventilation system, but we'll have it under control in a few minutes." Were they having a problem with their ventilation system? No. How did all that smell get up the stairs if that ventilation system wasn't working well? Yeah, they had another problem. What was their problem? A dog that liked to? Exactly. And I'm sorry, eat and fart. The captain said, "Put that dog overboard." Walter was lowered into a lifeboat which was tied to the back of the ship. "This will be fun, Walter," said Billy. "Officer Smedley promised to bring you treats every day," said Betty. Fair enough, thought Walter. That night, the huge block of cheese inside him began doing its work and began plugging up all of his Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. The passengers were enjoying themselves again while Walter trailed behind in his lonely lifeboat. The gas is building badly, he thought, but at least I'm still attached to the ship. Suddenly, the computer system that controlled everything on the ship crashed, and the backup system crashed right behind it. The power died. The engines quit. The ship drifted helplessly through the ocean. Everybody grew hot and cranky. Now, I know children are good at hot and cranky. So you show me some hot and cranky looks right now. I'm looking at you. Excellent job. Excellent. Hot and cranky over here? Oh, that looks mad. I want hot and cranky. Hot and cranky. Yeah, that's a hot and cranky. Okay. Oh, I'm hot and cranky. That's a good one. I like that one. Okay, so everybody's hot and cranky. In his lifeboat, Walter was having his own problems. The gas pains were unbearable. Try not to think about it, he said to himself. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It'll be fine. Just don't think about it. Twisting, he looked at his tail, and he realized, if that cheese lets go, I'll be blown halfway to the Arctic Circle, he thought. He felt the gas bubble building and building and building inside of him. He dug in with his paws and he braced himself. If anything breaks my perfect concentration, he thought, I'm done for. Just then, a fly landed on his. Walter looked at the fly. The fly looked at him. There was a deep rumble as the cheese shifted inside him. A few small came out gently and pushed the lifeboat up behind the big ship. Oh, that wasn't so bad, thought Walter. But then, all that had been building up inside of him for days that were blocked from the cheese came out with a roar of a rocket. The ship heaved forward. Walter hung on still. Walk, warp speed, said the parrot down in the pet palace. Oh, Father, gripping the deck rail, said, we must be back to full power. But it was much more than full power. It was third power. It shot the ship over the horizon and right into port. Oh, right on time, said the captain. When the cruise was over, Pet Officer Smedley presented Walter with a sailor hat. It was an honor having Walter on our cruise. He said, "We had a great time, but it's good to be back on land," said Mother. "Anyone for pizza?" asked Father. "Squawk, hold the cheese," said the parrot. And this slide says Walter's Wonder Park, 100% natural gas powered. Okay, boys and girls, gas is one of the states of matter. All things are made up of little molecules, right? Now, the deal with this is that molecules can be used in different ways. I mean, they can be different places. I want to know, raise your hand, if when you go to cook on your stovetop, when you turn the stove on, or Mom turns the stove on, and you hear a click, 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 and then a flame comes up. Who has a stove like that, where you actually see a fire when it's cooking the food? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. That is called a gas stove. We burn the gas to cook our food, right? And if you live in town, like most of you probably do, the gas company pipes that gas into your house, and it runs your stove, your dryer, your furnace, and your hot water heater, because it makes the hot water hot, so when you take a shower, you're not taking a cold shower, right? Here's the deal. That gas does not have any smell, but it smells at your house because the gas company puts some stinky stuff in there. Kind of smells like a cross between sauerkraut and bad eggs, you know, so that when you smell that, you know that the gas is leaking into your house and there isn't a flame, so that you will go and fix that, okay? So we use natural gas to help heat our house and dry our clothes and give us hot water and cook our food, right? We call that natural gas. Now, I was in Shellsburg this morning, and all the kids lived in the country, so they had tanks in the back of their houses that has gas in it. Okay? But there's another kind of natural gas that, and it's pretty much the same stuff that we all produce right here. Right? And if you want to use the polite word for it, we call that flatulence. If you want to use the impolite word, we call it. This is why I suggest you don't go home and say this word a lot, because in polite company, that would be considered impolite, right? But whatever you call it, we all do it, and we have to do it to be natural and healthy. That's how there is. But let's just talk about how gas, natural gas, is made in your tummy, okay? You eat food. The food gets broken down or digested or decomposed or whatever you want to call it in your stomach and your gut, and it breaks it down so that you can get the nutrition out of the food so your muscles move. Right? You with me on that? Okay. So let's say you're going to eat a banana. Do you eat the whole banana? Peel and all? No. So you eat the banana and you dispose of the peel, right? Now, you throw it away. Now, when you eat the banana, it goes down into your tummy, and a set of bugs, and by bugs I don't mean insects. By bugs I mean bacteria, microorganisms, fungus, yeast, digest or eat the food in your stomach and break it down so that your body can use it to provide you with nutrition. Okay? You might take the peel and throw it in your front yard. Not really, but this is the example I'm using. So if you throw the banana peel in your front yard, there is air and light and water. And you have bugs, microorganisms, fungus, bacteria, actual insects, worms that eat that and break it down and make it into part of the soil, right? Now the difference between the banana that's in here and the peel that's out there is these microorganisms breathe in air. So everybody take a deep breath in. Why do you breathe in air? What do you need from the air so that you'll survive? Yes, ma'am. Oxygen. I have to get up and give her a bump because basically this morning I couldn't get anybody to say that. You said it right off. What do you breathe out? Say it loudly.
CO2.
And what's the word for that?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. We breathe in air that contains oxygen, and we breathe out air that has a lot of carbon dioxide in it. That's what happens out here. But in here, there's no oxygen. So the bugs in here, they breathe in carbon dioxide, and they breathe out methane gas. Just like the natural gas, the gas company pipes into your home. Do y'all understand that? Now you have to know a few things about methane. It's not the same percentage in those two situations, I might add, but it's the same basic principle. Natural gas, methane, natural gas is made up mostly of methane. Other things can be in it. I can never get quite past the child-proof thing on this. What can you do with it? You can burn it, right? Like I said, if you burn it, it makes a flame, and then you can, heat up your noodles and cheese on top of it, right? Or your mac and cheese, whatever you guys call it. Okay? Right? Now, what was the theme of our program today? Fizz, boom, read. Now, we're going to do the fizz part right now. I wanted to bring in actual methane and do a few experiments, and everybody I talked to said, you can't do that. It's too unstable. You're around kids. You're hauling it in and out during the hot weather of the summer. So we are not actually using methane gas to make this experiment. We are using plain old vinegar that you make salad dressing out of, and baking soda that you help to make cakes and biscuits out of, okay? But this is going to show you, if I can do this without flipping it over, a fizz. Now, gas, you often can't see it. Can you see the air here? No. You know it's there though, right? Because you're breathing it in, right? And often we can't smell it. Often we can't taste it, but it's still there, right? We know it's there. And gas expands to whatever room or whatever area it's in. So the gas in this room is the size of this room. The gas in this bottle is the size of this bottle, right? But now we're going to make more gas, and it's going to expand into the balloon. Okay. Are we fizzing here? Okay, so we got the fizz down here, right? What's happening? And it's actually feeling a little bit cool here, up on the bubble part. This is a chemical reaction. Yes, what's happening? It's a what? Okay, now I have to admit, I sat at my kitchen counter. I stood at my kitchen counter a couple weeks ago, and I measured how much vinegar and how much baking soda to put in this particular bottle using this size of balloon so that we didn't have an explosion all over your library.
I won.
Because Erica would have been very upset with me if I exploded vinegar all over her library. So I made sure that the explosion didn't happen. But did we create the gas?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's talk about garbage again. Because now we have to talk about garbage. When you put your banana peels and your apple cores and your potato peels into your landfill, and we close the landfill off, or even before, but for the kids, we're just going to say we're topping up the landfill. We're going to take the black plastic and put it over the top. And then we literally find the plastic from underneath. We go like this, we fold this over, we hot glue this all the way around. So now we have a plastic sealed container of garbage, right? Then what was this supposed to represent? Do you remember? Clay. Thank you. Good job. Now we don't put 3 feet of clay on top because that's a little bit much on top. We put about 1 foot on, and then we put some soil on top, and then we plant. Yes? Grass. And I'm going to reach down here and get a couple of those. And now, because we have this closed in, and those bugs that don't have any oxygen in there are taking and eating your banana peels and your leftover lettuce and your spaghetti that you didn't eat last night for supper, and they're breaking that down and they're creating methane. If we don't have a way for that methane to get out, what's going to eventually happen to our landfill? Do you think you'd be happy if your town had an exploding, burning landfill? No. I would hazard a guess this would make everybody unhappy. So what we have to do is we put pipes down into the waste this way, and they come out at the, if you go to the landfill, you will see little things sitting out there that look like this, and that is to collect the methane gas. Because if we don't, we might have a... Now, there are several things that control how much methane, how much waste you accept. Some of the small landfills in the 6 counties I work with, they really don't have to do anything but monitor it. They don't have to mitigate it because they don't generate enough methane. Iowa City generates enough methane, and so currently right now they collect that methane, and if you go out to the landfill, they have a flare. It's we better make it burn, huh? It's better to burn the methane than having it escape into the environment. Okay? Now, if you lived in Cedar Rapids, Lynn County, they just about a year ago put in a system where they collect all their methane at their Site 2 landfill, not at the Site 1, and they clean it up and they heat and run all the electricity for all their buildings, and they just built a new building out there, so it's quite a facility, and they heat all of that and sell what's left over to the grid. Okay? So depending on how much organic matter, how much food scraps you put into your landfill, how much goes into your landfill, and whether it's completely capped or not, depends on how much methane is generated. Okay? Now there's one other thing we have to talk about. Hey, to put a point on this, the whole point of this is to say, if you have food scraps, it's much better to compost them at home than it is to put them in your garbage and have them go to the landfill to create methane gas. Methane gas, you can't see it, you can't smell it, it can burn, and it's explosive, and it is not a nice greenhouse gas. Okay? Now, gas molecules move at different speeds depending on the temperature. I have some gas molecules in this bag. Can you see them? Can you see real gas molecules? Okay, so we understand we're pretending here. We're playing. Now, you are going to run under this bag. And if it is cold out, the molecules move really slowly. If it's medium, they move medium. And if it's hot like it is today, they move really quickly. Young lady, could you come up here and stand, please? And young man in the green shirt that says, I'm to whatever, what does that say? Come on up here, would you please? So, I would like you to hold this and this. And I would like you, sir, to stand here and hold this and this. You're going to need to move this way a little bit. Don't step on this young lady because she'll be unhappy. Sir, would you like to come up and be my example? Okay, I want you to, boys, you're going to get run over. Got to move, okay? Because we're all going to get up and get in line in just a minute, but I don't want you to get run over while we're showing the example. Okay, you're going to run under this, so you have to raise this up so that he doesn't, right? And now, and when you run under, put your head up here and put your hands up here and make these move really fast because it's really hot out. Whoa! Okay. Then you're going to run over here. Okay, come on, run through. Okay, run over here. You're going to take a straw. You're going to bend it. I'm being very precise here because I've seen lots of versions of this over the last week, so I want to give you a hint. And then you're going to put the small end in your mouth. Okay? And then you're going to blow this ball all the way to the end of the table. Keep your straw if you want to have a second turn through line. Okay? Okay, blow. Hard. Look at that. Hey, look at that carbon dioxide go to work right there. Right out of you. Keep your straw. Okay, don't trip over the garbage cans because we're coming over here. Here's the teaching moment, folks. We're going to take the pretend fruits and vegetables out of the garbage can and put them into, come on, buddy. We're going to put one out of there into the compost bin. And then you're going to run down here and you're going to sit on that really hard. That's right. And then you're going to get back in line. And you're going to go back, buddy. Excuse me, what's your name, sir? Butali? You're going to go to the back, to the end of the line over here. Does everybody understand what I want you to do? It's complicated. Okay. This young lady up there with a butterfly shirt is going to be, heart, excuse me, I see it's a heart now, is going to be the first in line. Everybody line up behind her. Boys and girls, do I need to tell you do not touch anything on my table? Okay, because you're going to be standing right there and I don't want temptation to reach out and grab you saying, touch me, like Walter and the cheese. Okay, no touching. Okay? And you two will get a turn. I'll pull somebody else so that you can get a turn, okay? All right, go. 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 Could you kids, if you're not going to participate, come up and help grab the balls for us? Blow it hard. Harder. Come on over here and keep blowing it down the table. Now, if you blow it that way, it's going to go that way. You have to try to blow it that way. Get down close. Blow. Hard. Blow. Hard. Wait, but you bent it. Now, got it. Blow. Look at that. Whoa, go to catch it. Ah! Okay, pick it up, put it on the table, and run to the next. Hey, guys, you have to not be like right in front of the table so that they don't run into you. Get right here. You're going to be like those guys at tennis that run right out and do this right here. Okay, catch the balls. Go on. All right, come on. Come on, next. Come on. Come on. So you're going to be here. You're going to be here. You're going to be here. We're doing two on one on each side. You're here. You're here. You're here. You're here. You're behind the person in black. Okay, you're here. Oh, you again. Here you are. You're over here. Do you want to get in a straight line so that they don't have to run around you? And you have to put the balls back up or we'll run out of them. Okay? Okay. You're here. You're next, right here. You're behind her.
So hang on to your straw.
Hang on to your straws. You're here. You're here. You're here. Love that dress, girlfriend. You're here. You're here. You're here. You're here. There you go. Come here. Stop. Stop. Okay. You're over here. Yes, I'll do that. Keep going. Here's yours. You get behind the girl in the pink, would you? You stay here. You get behind her. Here's your straw. Here's your straw. You keep your straw if you want to go through for a second time. Okay, you're here. Right here. You're here. Right here. And you're right behind him. There you go. You're right here.
There you go.
That's it.
Keep your straw.
Here you go, honey. You're going to go over here.
Another straw.
Why? You haven't used that one yet. Here, we're not, here, you're right here. You're going to go over into that line. We're splitting this line into two, so you're here. Okay, you're over there behind her. You're here. You're here. You're here. Here you go, buddy. You're standing right behind him, right here. You're going over here and you're standing behind this boy right here. Okay? Just take one. You're standing here. Get it? Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for the help. Okay, who's right here? You go here behind the little girl in the yellow. You're here behind him. There you go. You come over here behind this. You go here. Right behind this boy. It's your turn now. You're going to be here behind her. Here's your straw. You're going to go right here behind him. Okay, you're behind. Okay. Yeah. Here. You. Okay. And. Hey.
Somebody already used this.
Bend it and blow.
Bend it already.
I was bending it for you when I was handing it to you. No one else has used it. I promise you.
Alright,
Okay, come on, go. Guys, your turn. Okay, so when we go through twice, you're going to sit back down. Have you gone through it all? No. So you go through twice. Okay, you get up here. Both of you. We're doing two at a time. You go over here. You get behind him. You get behind him. You get behind him. There. You're there. Where's your straw, sweetheart? You're right here in line. You're right behind her in line. You're in line. Come on over here, buddy. You're in line right here. Have you gone a second time? If you haven't, go get in line.
I hate yours.
Okay. You're behind the boy in the blue. You're behind this boy in blue. You're there. You're behind this little guy here. You're here. Yep. You want to be with her? Okay, you're behind her. Okay. You can go there. You can come over here. Because we have two. We have two lines going here. Okay, if you've gone through twice, sit down. Good job. I appreciate that. If you've gone through twice, sit down. All right, then move that line up. Come on, ladies. No, the line's waiting for you. Go on. Whoa. doing twice. We're doing 2 lines. Okay, and you're here. And you're here. Hey, you're here. And you're here. And you two can have a contest. Who can blow it the furthest on the first blow? Okay? You're over here, Betty. Behind him. You're going to be behind the guy in the white. Okay. I thought you two were going to have a contest. Okay. All right. Put us down.
Wait.
You can't be leaning on the table or they can't blow. Oh, tough luck. Blow. Go on. Blow. Everybody sit down. We're not done yet. Whoa, we're not done yet. They're left already. That's fine. Then go right ahead.
Snatch my ball off the table.
Everybody's strong. Hey, we're giving up the straws now. This young man has volunteered to collect the straws for me. It is, and we're almost done. It just takes a little longer when there's so many kids. Okay, children, 5. Adults, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody sitting down up front here. Your legs are crisscrossed applesauce. Gentlemen, that's exactly the kind of behavior that's going to get me in trouble. Because when I thought I would read this book, I had to really convince my boss we could do it in an appropriate and in a polite manner. Do you think we did it? Okay. Okay. Now, I know some people left, but here's how we're going to finish up. Remember, what you put in your garbage can create methane at the landfill, and we don't want that necessarily, so we want you to think, and I know Iowa City is just now starting a pilot project on residential curbside pickup of organics, and if that goes well, they're going to food scraps. They're going to expand that. But the point is the more we can keep out of the landfill, the better it is for the landfill, the better it is for the environment, and certainly the better it is for the atmosphere. Now, this next part is a little bit weird, but nonetheless, it's one of the early elementary, middle elementary standards, and so we're going to try to do this. You are going to line up. I am going to stick my hand out. Thank you. And I am going to say something like, thank you for coming today. And then you have to answer me politely and you have to shake my hand. Now, I've been doing this for 2 weeks now, and I can tell you that most of the time, you're looking at the candy instead of me. I want you to look at me when you shake my hand, and then you can look at the candy, and you have to say something polite back. So when someone says thank you, you can get away with saying what?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Polite, you're done, you get the candy, you're on your way. Okay? But don't squeeze my hand so hard that I have to go have another hand surgery. But don't kind of do this either. You have to, in America, we shake with our right hand. We look people in the eye. That's not the same everywhere, but in America, that's the polite thing to do. That's how our culture works. So, if you have, everybody take 5 scoots back. Big scoots, Mr. Chili. Or chill. Okay, I'm reading your shirt. Your shirt says chill. Okay, a few more scoots back. If you have blue on, please come and line up. Oh, how did you know you were going to be first in line? Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming too.
There you go. Hey, the blue candy is really tart, really sour. So if you don't like really sour, don't pick blue. Thank you for coming. Good job. Great. It's a candy that you suck on, and when you get to the middle, it fizzles.